So it could become very, very sad and unfortunate. But if you are still within the UK
Okay.
and you've spent if you spent a number of years in the UK, you should be able to at least look at the potential
Okay.
of actually extending your life in the UK. A good example, the child. If you've been in this country for so many years, maybe you've been in the country for about 8, 9 years,
Mm-hmm.
you may want to actually make the case that, look, your right to private life in the UK, let's say you came in at the age of 2 and you are now 12 or you're now 9, maybe
Okay.
make an argument based on your private life in the UK under ECH, under the European Convention on Human Rights,
Okay.
or even if you could wait till 10 years. Because if you're still a minor and you've been living in the UK for 10 years,
10 years.
you could actually make use of the naturalization through registration, nationality rules and regulations.
Okay.
Despite the fact that you've been overstaying, you've been here for 10 years, that law is still there to be at least allow you to make an application.
Okay.
The elderly people, again, if you've been in this country for so many years, and you've been living with a relative who is present and settled in the UK, and you could show that there's no chance of you being able to go back home, nobody to go back home to, no relatives. You'll be living a life of a destitute if you are told to go back home. Again, you could explore the immigration rules and regulations and human rights legislation to try to actually remain in the UK. So, dependents, children, adults, you can still actually make use of opportunities the immigration rules and regulations still give you to be able to remain in the UK.
But of course, you have to be knowledgeable about all these things in order to, to be able to use them. So in other words, people should still continue to seek legal advice.
Yes,
and,
I would advise that, yes.
And to do that at all, as soon as possible, really.
That's very true. Yes.
I mean, obviously this program is a business program. A lot of investors do watch the program, and I'm sure there are investors out there who are probably thinking that, is there a way out for them, as investors? So what would you say to that?
Yes, there is indeed. So over the years, I know of so many business people who have actually been coming to the UK regularly to do business. They come to the UK, do business, then go back home. They buy the equipment they need to actually buy or whatever they want to actually do with and go back home and continue with their business. But over the last 3 years, the government has actually tried to make it easier for investors to actually come into the UK.
Okay.
And to invest money in the UK. And I think the rationale behind it is because of the economic situation in the UK, and the banks, failing, and the economy not actually, moving as much as they want the economy to be moving. They are trying to encourage inward investment of people coming in to either invest in businesses or to invest in the financial instruments available to as so many people as possible in the UK.
Okay.
And for such business people, what I would tell them is there is now this opportunity to be able to come into the UK to invest.
Okay.
Right. And after in between 3 and 5 years, depending on the kind of investments you've put into the UK economy, you could then, after the 3 to 5 years, you could then apply for indefinite leave to remain.
Okay.
And what that would mean is you are running your business, and because of the fact that you've done so well with running your business within the UK, the UKBA is now prepared to consider an application after 3 years for indefinite leave to remain because of the business you have in the UK. I'm aware that there's so many business people who are not making use of this opportunity, and it's there. People who may possibly have a very good business in Ghana, or Uganda, or Nigeria, or Jamaica, or anywhere you are, but you now want to extend that very particular business in investing in the UK. Maybe a branch of that business in the UK by, spreading your tentacles really in terms of what you want to be doing. and spreading your business and showing people what you could actually do abroad. Yes, the Tier 1 entrepreneurs visa could be something so many business people might want to actually take advantage of. Even if the true owner of that business doesn't want to take advantage of coming down, you could actually use one of your directors, a family member, if you feel that family member is involved with the business back home and that you now want to actually have a branch abroad, you could make use of that family member. You can make use of a spouse, your children. Maybe your children are studying in the UK and you just feel like, hold on, let me actually make use of the kind of business I'm running here to actually have a branch in the UK and make use of my family member, my spouse, or a very, very close family friend. And so long as you meet the requirements, you could actually use that avenue yourself.
Yes.
Or maybe you want to actually make use of a family friend or a relative or child or wife or child to be able to run that kind of business in the UK.
I mean, obviously with the government, we know that anytime they introduce something new, there is always a clause or a penalty, or there was always a hurdle that you have to, to jump.
Yes.
Now, in the case of an entrepreneurial visa, what's the maximum or what's the least you have to invest?
Well, there are two types. First of all, you need to actually show that you got the funds, and the minimum you are allowed to invest would be 200,000. 200,000 pounds.
That's pounds, yes.
Yes, and you then need to show that you have the funds available, either in your bank accounts in your country of origin, or if you have an account in this country, you have the funds in this country, and you hold down the funds for a number of days in the UK, normally about 28 days. But you would also need to show the provenance of funds. The movement. You can't just deposit money and then wait for because the UKBA or the British High Commission, the visa section, they would want to actually know how the funds, how you were able to amass so much wealth. Situations where maybe the UKBA or immigration department could be thinking about, where is this fraud money or is this drug money? So you need to actually still show the movement of funds and all the rest. So long as you have the 200,000 pounds and you also have enough funds to show, possibly about another 50,000 to show that you would also have enough to be able to maintain your person, your family members in the UK. Yes, you could make that application, and the bank, either the bank holding funds in the UK or the financial house holding the funds abroad, would have to be regulated by FSA in this country, or the FSA of the equivalent in the country where you are holding these funds. So long as you could show all that anyway, yes, you should be able to make that application. There are situations whereby you could even combine funds, of possibly two entrepreneurs, combining funds instead of that straight to you got two in the business, either in partnership or in a company, and they are actually combining funds. They also allow that once in a while, but not regularly. That's that first aspect. Then there's another aspect of the Tier 1 entrepreneur. Even if you do not have your funds, and you have let's say a venture capitalist who is based in the UK and who is also regulated and monitored by the FSA or financial bodies regulating such capitalists, venture capitalists, and if maybe they've sourced out somebody who has a brilliant, good business idea, and they feel that this would work and this would contribute to the economy of the country, and make a profit for that person, and the venture capitalist investing into that business. All you need to show of such investment into your business, because it's not your money, somebody else's money, is £50,000, not the 200,000. The 200,000 is to do with people who have funds and who want to invest.
Come and invest.
That's their own money. The 50,000 is to do with somebody actually investing in your